Good Monday evening. Welcome to another edition the DC Sports Rundown presented by the Sideline Junkies. As you can see, it's the man, the myth, the legend, the Midnight Rider, along with myself, the big guy KG. I am not a happy camper right about now. Not even going to lie about it. I'm not going to try to hide it. So parental discretion is advised.
That's why we chose the platform.
Yeah. I plan on going full bore. First and foremost, as always, how you feeling tonight?
Well, first and foremost, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. We're YouTube,
Twitch,
Podbean, Twitch. Yeah. If you love your boys, give us some love, show us some love, add us, do whatever you can to support us. How am I doing? I'm good. Took a day off just to relax and get some things straight, run some errands. So football is going, and let's see what's up, man.
You took a day off. I needed a day off. I decided to say the hell with it. Go to Columbia and hang out up there for a little bit just to get away from the city. But couldn't run away from this. Washington loses yesterday, 36-27 to the Detroit Lions. I was about to call them a lame, but I'm not going to do it. I took some notes. This game was so bad to me as a fan. I got up and went grocery shopping at halftime. And I watched the second half of the game in the grocery store, moving around, following behind my wife. And she was just like, I'm going to need you to turn it off.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't. But now, here's my notes before we get into stats. This defense that's supposed to be retooled, revamped, I didn't see no fire in the belly last night. Yesterday. They gave up over 100 yards rushing in the first half. In the first half, they lost in all three phases of the game. Offense, defense, special teams.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't flip the field, and if you did flip the field, it didn't mean nothing because Detroit was marching up and down the field like they were Patton's Army. No adjustments for this aggressive pass rush. And one thing that I said in game, and I think I tweeted it, if you got a defense that's very, very aggressive with the pass rush, you got to go quick slants. You got to go dump offs. You got to exploit that explosiveness and that aggressiveness by being explosive yourself. They didn't do it.
Okay. So I think, in my opinion, what kind of hurt them early on was the press man. So he didn't stack his receivers enough to help alleviate some of that. So you got to remember, our receivers aren't the biggest dudes in the world. You know, everybody's like $180, $190. You know what I'm saying? So, if they got bricks in their back pocket, they might be 205, but I ain't seen no bricks yesterday. So when you get physical, I think yesterday is going to be one of those games where it's either the blueprint on how teams should play you. So that could be damning to this team in the long run. Because it's out. The book is out there.
Yeah. And the thing is, somebody said something. And I had to actually leave a group on Facebook yesterday because, number one, the amount of crybabies that you can't satisfy. And I told the boss BJ last night, I said, I love my team, even through the ups, downs, the ins, the outs, the name change, everything. I love my team. Loved them my whole entire life. And here's my problem. It's parts of the fan base that either you can't please them or they're happy with any sign of mediocrity.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, we signed so-and-so from here. So the hell what? What are they going to do when they get here? I can't deal with that.
I had to leave. You say that.
What you got?
Because I got an old post. I forgot. I think we played the Cowboys, and maybe Alfred Morris was on the team, and he had like 4 carries with like 12 yards and a touchdown. And all I kept seeing was everybody saying we should have not let him go. And no, for that production, no. So that's the crazy part. And I exactly know what you're talking about with this fan base. It's we want to let's cut them, and then the second they go somewhere else, it's we should have not let them go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the crazy part about it.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not fickle in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, we need to fire Ron Rivera. Nah, I've said it since the offseason. If Jack Del Rio doesn't get this defense the way it needs to be, this is built to be a top 10 defense at the worst. And I'll say top 10 at the worst because we got William Jackson. We got Kendall Fuller. We finally got 2 corners. When the last time we had 2 corners that were actual starters and not, one starter and a nickelback?
I don't know, man. I mean, for me, I call it hot 29. I feel like when teams come out, they find Kendall Fuller and they go at him. So I don't see the Kendall Fuller, the William Jackson actually get a little discouraged by the way these guys are playing because it seems like they give up everything. They're not stopping anybody. They're not pressing up. They're not there. I mean, that touchdown that Amon St. Brown caught on William Jackson, oh my gosh. I mean, if there was Mawson, you got Moss, oh my goodness. The dude looked like a toddler trying to guard some like his big brother. It was just terrible. But I know you're gonna get to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to all of it.
So let's just put the baby out with the bathwater and let's just get down to business, man. Let's get down to fundamentals because this game doesn't deserve any, excuse the word or the terminology, but it don't deserve no pussyfooting around with what happened, man.
Well,
they got taken out to the woodshed, so let's go, man. Get into it. Let it go.
Carson Wentz 30 of 46, 337. Antonio Gibson 337, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Antonio Gibson 14 carries, 28 yards and a touchdown. Samuels only touched the ball once as a running back, which is a problem, and that's 1 for 21. McKissick 3 for 9. Scary Terry even touched the ball and went 1 for 7. Curtis Samuel 7 for 78 and a touchdown. McLaurin 4 for 75. Jahan Dotson 4 for 59 and a touchdown. J.D. McKissick 7 catches, 54 yards. Logan Thomas 3 catches, 37 yards and a touchdown. And then after that, it's like a drop off in production. Cam Sims. Let me get to this. I advocate, I pull for. I am a fan of Cam Sims because I'm like, dude, in the red zone, he's 6'5". It's no way in 4 hells we're not throwing corner fades to this dude. And you wasn't on the show. This is even when we had Jordan Reed. I said, man, this is the formation. You ball on the 5. You got first and goal. You gotta have.
Yep.
I'm gonna have Logan Thomas, Scary Terry, Cam Sims. Stack. And then once they're stacked, I'm throwing a fade or somebody's coming open. And then when they come open, it's over. But it's gonna be Cam. I'm gonna let Cam get that jump ball all day long. Why are we not doing that? And welcome to the Swamp Queen, Lady C.
Hi guys.
Good to see you.
Sorry I'm late.
Uh-oh.
Single parenting thing over here.
What is one catch?
Oh, he talking trash. Actually, Terry had 4 for 75. Thank you very much. It wasn't 1 catch. Thank you. And I know you want to make your point and you want to say he's not a number 1. Stop it. But it was a play. It was that flea flicker. Cam Sims is running. I mean, he's going. All he has to do is a jump ball. All he got to do is keep running. He slows up, takes his foot off the gas, and it's almost picked off. And I'm yelling at the TV like, bro, why did you stop running?
Well, it looked like he was running the corner and Carson was throwing a post or something like that. Like maybe it was a corner post.
Let me explain something. played a lot of football in my life. I've had a lot of good quarterbacks, a couple great ones. I've even had some bad ones. If I know the ball is in the air, and my mentality, even my mentality now, my wife can throw something through the house to one of the kids. When I see it in the air, oh, it's mine. Either I'm swatting it or I'm catching it. It's one or the other.
Okay.
If that ball is up there, nobody's getting into it before I get to it. The ball is a code. Only one coming down with it is me. Only one catching it is me.
Okay.
That's my mentality. Like, if you've got to readjust, you got to see, you looking over this shoulder. Oh, shit, it's on this side. I'm hitting the afterburners. You got to have more than one speed and at least try. Like, because he didn't try, he just kind of tried it and gave up. I couldn't have been his coach. We would have had ourselves a real conversation, and then it would have really been a manhood issue.
No, I think all of yesterday was a manhood issue.
It was, because we got punked yesterday.
I think
We got punked.
Yes, on every level. And I think Detroit came out, and I think Detroit took the momentum from last week when they built up and tried to come back against Philadelphia. And then they came out this week and they just said, you know what? This is what we do. This is who we are. And there was one play. It was a run up the middle with not Jonathan Williams, but Jamal Williams. And their line, if you watch the replay, you can see Jonathan Allen getting dragged like he was on a sled. Like he was the sled dummy, the blocking dummy, and he was just getting pushed back. The run, if you watch the run by DeAndre Swift, that cutback, if we want to talk about a hat on a hat, if you want to talk about Vince Lombardi, we get a seal here, we get a seal there, and we create the alley. That's exactly what you got yesterday on several plays. It wasn't just one. It was 3, 4, 5. It was literally, they just said, it was almost like they flipped the coin before the play started and just figured out which A gap they was going through. If they going right A gap or left A gap, but whatever we doing, we going through the A gap. So, and we'll tell you, hey, we come in A gap, have fun. And it wasn't a Jamin Davis issue. It was a true manhood issue. It was Deron Payne. It was Jonathan Allen. It was David Wise. Whoever else plays defensive tackle for this team, they got abused yesterday. Sorry.
It's okay. No, that's the truth. And Lady C, you sitting over there just playing with the dog and just like, all stern and stuff. What you got to say?
Uh-oh. We got Kung Fu Theater.
Bullshit. Like,
Yeah, here we go. You cannot match my Shaolin style. Now she frozen.
Yep.
am I freezing again?
Yeah,
There
you are.
go. Now you back.
We can hear you, but you ain't moving. You and the People's Choice Don Rodriguez y'all both must got the same gerbils running y'all Wi-Fi.
Get them back
I'm
on the
on
wheel. There we go.
Okay, we good now?
Yeah.
Yep.
We good? So, all the games are bullshit.
Oh.
Week 2 was just a bull.
So I think what she was going to say is week 2 was some bullshit. The teams that we picked weren't going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jameis. Oh my God, Jameis tried to. I think Jameis was on the take. I think the Dolphins. What was it? The Dolphins came back from being down 35-14.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Browns gave up a 14-point lead with under 2 minutes. It was ridiculous yesterday. Yesterday to me, and I posted it on Facebook. I don't think I put it in the Junkies comments, but yesterday to me showed me that there's a reason. Let me say it this way. It showed that teams don't take the preseason serious. So when you get in certain situations, you can't handle it. Whether it's the fatigue, whether it's whatever, but it shows that teams are mishandling their preseason getting themselves ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sad part yesterday was if Cleveland, when Nick Chubb goes around the corner to score the touchdown, if he just falls in bounds, ball game. You ain't got to worry about a kick. You ain't got to worry about Flacco taking him down the field. And then what happens is Flacco goes up the field for 7 yards, which I don't even understand how that happens when you're in 2-minute defense and you're supposed to be in prevent. I don't know how somebody gets behind the defense. You know, it's just yesterday was like fundamental football just took the day off.
Yes.
That's how I felt. Besides
Looking at-
Detroit.
Yeah.
Besides Detroit. Because Detroit said fundamentally we're gonna beat the man in front of us. I'm gonna take your lunch money. I'm gonna come in your house. I'm gonna take a docism. I'm gonna come in your house, sit down and eat dinner at your table and put my feet up.
And then burp in your face.
Exactly.
That's what I say. And you know, that was supposed to be us on that. We were supposed to come into their house, eat their dinner, burp in their face, and goose their wife on the way out. But instead, we got punked.
Yep.
Our O-line now, Chase Rouillet is on short-term IR.
That's
I'm not upset about that because we got depth at O-line. And I know Schweitzer, and I'm a big fan of his for many different reasons, mostly on the football field, but off the football field, I'm a huge fan of his. And him, if he moves over to center,
right.
Oh my God. Because the thing is, I thought he was going to start this year. Now, he did start game 1. I thought he was going to start the whole season. You know, he was going to start at that guard. And this is why I say that, because he had more win shares in run blocking than anybody else last season. And I'm like, he played a snapshot. Why is it that he's not starting? And our running game will be immaculate running behind him. Like I told him, I was like, dude, with you winning run shares like that, I could run for $125 on a bad day. Because all I got to do is, hey, when you pull, I'm right behind you. Let's go.
So this team yesterday, I don't have the exact stats, but I know what my eyeballs told me. On second down yesterday, I felt like as a fan watching the game, in those 6 possessions in the first half where we punted the ball, I think we netted maybe -2 yards on the second down. Mm-hmm. Like we didn't win second down at all. So your goal is on first down, you gain some yards, and then second down, you make it third and manageable. Well, we didn't make third and manageable at all.
No.
And then I thought we tried to make fit Aiden Hutchinson for his gold jacket. Like we just said, you know, you don't need to play the rest of the season. We'll give you the defensive rookie of the year today.
And Buddy was hurt. Buddy was hurt.
But and you know what? I fought Detroit for that yesterday because I think that kid should have been off the field the whole entire second half. Like just put him in the incubator and let him heal up.
So you can't do that.
You can't get anything better out of that. And I don't know what his injury is, and I haven't seen the injury report today.
He was coming into that game with an injury, but he's like Micah Parsons. You got to cut his heart out to get him out the game. Right. And these young guys is like that. I love them because of that. Like, hate the Cowboys, but I love Micah Parsons. I love sitting back and just watching him play. Like, I isolate on defense. I look at him. I want to see what he does. And Hutchinson, I want to see what he does. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yeah, you a beast, boy. I don't give a damn if you did go to Michigan. You a beast. You know?
Went to Penn State.
He went to Penn State. Oh no, didn't they draft it? I thought who went to Michigan?
Hutchinson went to. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Micah. Yeah,
no, Micah went to Penn State. Okay,
yeah. Parsons went to Penn State.
Yeah,
Hutchinson went
to Michigan. Yeah, even though he's a Michigan guy. Even though he's a Michigan guy, you know, rivalry with Notre Dame, but that ain't even a rivalry no more. But anyway, unfortunately, and I pulled this stat up, and the boss BJ still talking about Terry and his money. $2 million a catch. He got the money. He's going to earn it. Just chill. It's like Novocaine. Give it time to work. I guarantee you he'll have over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns this year. Shh, be quiet. Stop it. Punting. Tressway, 6 punts, 284 yards, and he dropped one inside the 20. He couldn't drop the other 5 inside the 20 because we had such bad field position.
Right.
On the other side, for the victorious Lions, Jared Goff looked like the Jared Goff of old. 20 or 34, 256 and 4 touchdowns. St. Brown had 2 carries for 68 yards. Swift, who wasn't supposed to really play this game, was supposed to be limited with an injury. Didn't look like he had much of an ankle injury at all. 5 of 56. Williams, 12 of 53. St. Brown had 9 catches for 116 yards. He and 2 touchdowns. This was a lesson in how to give an ass whooping.
Mm-hmm.
And to think this game was 22-0 at the half. Now, Washington.
No. I'm sorry. I got to stop you. I really stop you because of one thing. There was a total level of disrespect in this ball game. There was under 2 minutes left. I think they had like a 3rd and 5 or a 3rd and 9, and they took a shot deep.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time in that game, I said Detroit has no respect for what you can do. They're gonna put their kahunas, in the words of Bill Raftery, they're gonna put the onions on the table and let you know that it's on. And that was when that happened in that ball game. I felt like it was over at that point because they're telling me we don't respect what you do offensively.
Mm-hmm.
We don't respect what you do defensively. You can't stop us, and we're gonna show you. So that's how I took yesterday's ball game.
Here's the thing. What you just said, and this is where I love to bring in the good part of Madden. This is where Madden has taken over in the professional ranks. Because 3rd and 5 in Madden, 2 minutes left, you still taking shots at the end zone to score because you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But to be systematically and unequivocally beat the way that Washington was yesterday, this has to be either one or two things. This either has to be the awakening,
mm-hmm,
or this has to be the turning point. Now, I don't know how Ron Rivera handled today, but everybody would have to be in for film session today. I don't give a damn if you hurt, whatever. Everybody in for film session today. And we're watching film session on the big screen. I'm showing you everything that went wrong. Here's the thing about coaching. You get coached up Tuesday through Saturday. When Sunday comes, the coaches can't do it for you. They didn't give you everything you need. You got to go out there and execute.
I'm going to say this, man. We're doing EKGs. Because I didn't know that you got a heart pumping. I didn't know you got blood flowing through your veins. Because after what happened yesterday and the blatant disrespect that happened, I'm not a big platitude guy. But yesterday, like, Detroit disrespected you. Detroit didn't care who you were, didn't care what your stats were. You could be a 5-star, you could be a 4-star, you could be a first rounder, you could be a third rounder. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Oh, what's your name, son? It doesn't matter. That's all yesterday was. Yesterday was we got helmets on, you got helmets on. Stop me. And I give all the credit in the world because I've never seen Hard Knocks and how the show is played out turn to the football field like I saw what Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn did to us yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was episode 4. That was episode 5 when they were chirping back and forth between each other. That's all we got yesterday. Like they just felt like they had field day. They could call what they wanted to call. They could do what they want to do, and they imposed their will. Sorry.
No need for sorry. And the boss BJ say he's starting to lose faith in Big Ron. One thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to lose faith in Riverboat Ron because I've seen him take less and do more. And the thing is, he got the credit card. He can buy the meal. He can prepare the meal. I don't know what's going on in the preparation of the meal right now. But people, we done had 3 losing seasons. Well, technically, yes. Record-wise, yeah. If we lose this year, this will be 3rd losing season. but we also have a
Title.
division title in there. And the Balls Beast, how many times are we going to talk about this team not being ready for a game?
You know what? I don't even think that was a ready for the game thing. I guess maybe because I've coached before, and I've seen myself put a team in position to win, and it just be a Joe's thing where the guys that you put out there just weren't good enough that day. So I think yesterday was one of those days, and we gotta remember this is just week 2. Like I think week 2, the storyline of week 2 was just the thing of we get 17 of these, and every now and then you gotta just take one and just be like, you gotta just throw it in the trash can. Like I don't even know if I would watch this tape. I think I'd take this tape, go into the middle of the field somewhere, take a shovel, pick it out, throw the tape in there, put it down, pat the ground, and like just move on.
Now, see, I'm a little bit different, and you tell me how players would respond, because I know how I would respond. I know how people around me will respond. You tell me how players will respond, because I'm going to show you this tape, and I'm going to dig in your shit, and I'm going to tell you straight up. You see how you feel right now? You see how you got outplayed yesterday? Don't you ever let a motherfucking team outplay you like this ever again. Don't let nobody out hit you. Don't let nobody out talk you. Don't let nobody outscore you. Because if you want to keep feeling like this, there's the door. Get the fuck out. Because if you ain't got it, you can't stay here. I need people that's got it. You got to, even down 22-0, they didn't show no fight. I need you to show some fight. Bite a nigga on the leg or something. You got to show me something. If you don't have no fight, get the fuck out now.
So the fight standpoint, I think they showed it, and I think their problem was execution. So the second half, you come out, you get the first touchdown, you get the Dachshund throw down the seam, you get the touchdown off of that, and then you come back and you get Wentz to miss Logan on that seam route high, and it gets picked off. That kind of stumped the momentum that they had, because I really think if they score on that drive, that breaks Detroit's will. Detroit is used to being in a situation where they're up and then all of a sudden they lose, and they lose it close. But what I think that pick did was that pick got them a little confidence. And then I think right after that pick, that's when they run the inside handoff to Amon St. Brown. He goes up the field for like 60 yards, or if it's not that one, it's the 2 possessions later after we scored a touchdown. But like Detroit always had an answer for whatever they did. And the other problem I had was Ron mismanaged this ball game down the stretch. There was a point where we were down 21-29, and he goes for 2.
Yes, I agree with that. He shouldn't have went for 2.
So I think what happened was, and I will be Commodus today. I will be merciful. I will say that he or whoever was in his ear was telling them that you had to go for 2 when the situation didn't warrant going for 2. That's what I'm gonna say. I think that was just stupidity, because you're not reading the clock well, you're not managing the game well. So that point, if you kick that field goal, it's 22-29. You're down 7 points. You don't have to fight to do anything else. It's a ball game,
right?
And then that's when Detroit again. Like yesterday, Detroit just gutted them like in key situations, or situations where we need to play. As your boy Doc said, we need a hero. Well, no hero came along.
Nope. So, and this week we're not giving out a manhood award because it was no manhood shown yesterday.
Oh, no. I got a manhood. The manhood award goes to Amon St. Brown. He was a man. He was a man. He was a dog yesterday.
Well, okay.
He got every big play that they needed. Again, it ain't for us, but
you're right.
He was a dog yesterday.
And see, I didn't think we were giving out opposing teams.
Hey, if you got them, if you showed it, you showed it.
And the Balls BJ say every year we're talking about the same thing with this team. Detroit saw something that made them play that way. Yeah, they saw easy pickings. And here's my thing.
So hold on. I'm gonna cut you off because no, Detroit didn't see anything. Detroit didn't change who they are. See, Detroit has this mentality and it's from day one. This is what we are. This is what we do. We're gonna punch you in the mouth and see how you like getting punched. You can have a plan walking in here.
Mm-hmm.
But that plan gonna get changed when you get punched. And
everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Exactly. And I felt like yesterday was one of those situations where Deuce and Aaron Glenn said, we gonna attack. And then how you respond to our attack is gonna be how this ends up. Because we had chances in this ball game.
Yes, we did.
Like, so when I walk away from this ball game, I don't feel like the coaches let us down. I feel like the players let us down.
I can agree with that.
Because I felt like we always talk about manhood. I think there were certain situations where our manhood didn't stand up to the pressure and the situation. I think in a couple situations with Wentz, I think there's about 2 or 3 sacks that happened yesterday that Wentz ran into, as opposed to the offensive line giving them up. I think he took the wrong route getting out of the pocket, and then I think that was one of the big adjustments, because people say we don't make adjustments, but that was the adjustment they made yesterday. Was he decided to get out of the pocket and get upfield sooner in a couple of those situations in the second half, and that's how we got in play.
Here's my thing, and this is honest. If they don't respond well against Philly, I'm sorry. You can't go into this season and you not win these early games. You got Philly this week coming up, which is the 25th. Then you got the Cowboys. You're going to Dallas on the 2nd. You got the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys are wounded, and they showed that they can roll yesterday. Now all the Cowboy fans, they on Facebook, they chirping, they doing all they talking and stuff. But a week ago, I wasn't hearing nothing from y'all. I was quiet as church mouse. Like when in Cowboy Nation, I stepped and peeked my head in the door and I could hear rat piss on cotton. But now, Michael Irvin talking about Cooper Rush look like Tom Brady and this, that, and the third. Okay, let me see what you do next week. Now, not looking past the Eagles. The Eagles are the presumptive favorite in the NFC East. If we come out looking flat against them, we might as well go ahead and pack the 10 up and call the season. Not even play no more games. And I'm saying that because where we fall every year in the division, we can beat everybody outside the division, but we can't beat anybody in the division, which makes us the babies of the division. It makes us the old school Arizona Cardinals. I'm sorry, the old school
the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, Phoenix,
with
St.
OJ
Louis,
Anderson, Neil Lomax, and company.
Shoot, I remember when Tom Tupa was their quarterback.
So I don't know. I don't know how Philadelphia watches the Detroit game and doesn't decide that Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell aren't going to have 50 carries, and we figure it out. We throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we just get it going. Like, this is a manhood again. We talk about it, but I normally don't say this that much, but it's a manhood thing. Sunday coming up, and Philly has one of the better offensive lines. I mean, considering this is the other thing that throws me off with this team is we got 4 first rounders. Of course, Chase is out, but then we playing against an interior line that's 2 practice squad dudes and some center that's the backup center, and they still out there road grading us. They looking like Riley McKenzie, Jeff Boston, and Russ Grimm. So I don't understand. Like for me, again, it's just certain things. You got all these accolades, you got all these things that you tell me you good at, but you ain't showing me nothing.
Exactly.
So everybody last week that was saying, "Oh, Deron played a good game." Well, I ain't see it this week. I ain't see it. Jonathan Allen, we signed him. He a little hurt, but I ain't see it. I saw somebody taking his lunch. Easily.
You know what?
And that dude walked into the arena with a thing on his chest that said, "Hello, my name is," and I played for the Detroit Lions because security didn't know who he was. That's how bad it was. Security didn't know who he was. They checked his ID when he walked in the room. They didn't say, "Oh, hey, how you doing, so and so? Welcome to Sunday's game." They were like, "Oh, I need to check your credentials."
Mm-hmm.
And then that dude comes out and plays like an all-pro against you. I got a problem with that.
Looking ahead to next week, you got the young bull Jordan Davis. Now this boy had, man, I don't know who he was going against. Everybody was like, "Oh, he wasn't going against the starters. He not going to do." Man, I don't care. It's another grown man. He took that grown man who tried to bear down 4 times and he pushed him back. If he gets loose on Sunday, we are in trouble. So you have to play him like you would play Aaron Donald, like you would play Fletcher Cox. We need to see what he got, but you got to think about how you're going to play him, because he's going to be the X factor on that D line. We're nicked up on the O line, so the O line has to play strong. And I've said this for years, man. Why is it that O linemen don't have that bond like they used to? What I mean is, you got 5 starters, and then you probably got 4 to 5 backups. But and defense the same way. My whole starting defense, I want them to be like the 83 Raiders. They go to lunch together, they leave together, they come together. Everything they do is a unit. And they always in a foul mood. That's the way I want my defense. I want my O-line the same way. You know, I remember, this is showing my age because nobody does it anymore. I remember the O-line was so close. When they came to the line, they held hands. There was a link. It was a chain link fence, and you did not get through there. But it showed that they were together in everything that they did, and they moved as a unit. Why don't offensive lines do that anymore? Why are we not getting that from our offensive line? We have a history in this town of one of the greatest offensive lines ever. The Great Wall of Dallas was modeled after the Hogs. Contrary to popular belief, they modeled it after the Hogs. They just did it bigger. Those guys were 300 and some pounds. Larry Allen was the strongest guy in the league. This dude was bench pressing, 700-800 pounds?
Right.
Come on. Why are we not getting that type of camaraderie anymore?
I gotta agree and disagree with you on this one. I agree from the standpoint that maybe we don't have the same camaraderie, but I think it's John Matusik, that's the O-line coach. I think what he has this innate ability to get the best out of these guys, because we've played with our backups, the backups to the backups, and this team is still kind of stayed afloat the whole time. So I'm not going to kill the O-line in this situation. I think there was some schematic stuff. I think Detroit took advantage of some situations where maybe these guys hadn't played together enough, if that makes sense. So, like, if you pay attention, there was this scenario. It was a 3rd down, 3rd and long. Hutchinson and Harris are beside each other. The tackle is playing over top of the center. He was playing zero technique. So what the tackle does is he does a stunt to pull the center and the guard together, and then Hutchinson loops around. I think that was like his 2nd sack of the day. So I think in some of these scenarios where we're getting caught up with this O-line is they just haven't played together enough, more so than anything else. Because I felt like in the second half, once they got settled, and maybe, Scott called a little more hot stuff and early stuff. But if you pay attention, even when we went early and hot in the first half, it was getting blown up because the corners were impressed. So you can't run that screen, that wide receiver screen, that bubble screen, that tunnel screen. All that was getting eaten up just with Detroit's aggressiveness.
See, and then, we took a page out of their book with John Davis. And my cousin Tony says, good point. And that's an excellent point. We ran the same stunt. John Davis was like, he about to get caught in the wash. He looped around and came through, got himself a sack.
Right. We didn't go back to it.
Exactly. And I was about to say that because where's the exoticness? Where's our wrinkles? It's like we're so vanilla, and it's like we're just we're gonna do
no,
this.
it's not that. It's not that. So for the last 3 years, now you're getting into the Chateau Bow Wow, in the words of Chris Russell. I hate the way we blitz. I hate it with a passion. Because if you ever I watch all 22, I watch whatever, and sometimes just in the mode of the game, like our blitzes, for some reason they get caught up in the wash.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's I almost patented to there was a Clippers team where everybody was in a contract year, and like I feel like at times our D line plays like they're always in a contract year, so they will do what they got to do to try to get theirs and not do what's best for the team.
Hero ball.
So when the safeties and the corners or the linebackers come to blitz, they actually end up running to the back of these guys because these guys are running into the gaps that they're supposed to be in. So like if you ever like the last 2 or 3 years, it's driven me crazy. But I watched like a safety try to come through a gap that's supposed to be there, but unfortunately the D tackle's there. So now he gets stacked, and now he's got to go around. That extra half a second gives the quarterback a chance to get the ball out. Mm-hmm. It's just little stuff like somebody says the devil is in the details. And like we don't deal with that part of it. We don't deal with the details well. Because the Jameis sack was the perfect example where the details got taken care of. He comes in free, he gets the sack. But I didn't see it again.
I'm gonna say something, and this is an unpopular opinion. Very unpopular. Will it ever happen? Hell no, because they burnt the fucking bridge too fucking bad on all 3 of these coaches. Defensively, I need a Greg Williams led defense. I need those. Greg Williams was picking up spare parts and turned them into a top 10 defense. I need Bill Callahan my O-line because of what he did with those guys and with that O-line. Beautiful. I need Jim Zorn to come back and coach these quarterbacks because every quarterback that he's coached has had their best statistical year.
So I'm with you on the first one. The other two, no, because you got to give the guy John Matusik his credit, man. This O-line last year going down the stretch was on like their 4th or 5th center.
That's true.
And they held up. I mean, this line this year has held up for the most part. And this is where we go back to where I was saying it's an issue when you don't play enough in the preseason. So this O-line just doesn't show that they have the continuity because they just haven't played together. That's all this is. This is
basically you telling me we suffering because we lost the preseason game, correct?
No, I'm not saying we lost the preseason game. I'm saying
no. I'm saying we actually remember we used to play 4 preseason games. We only play 3 now. We kind of lost some. We lost that continuity.
I get where you're going with this. I get that, but no. What I'm saying, my standpoint is more so. Because guys weren't healthy in the preseason, now you throw them out in the field, you can't get that when you talk about that link, when you walking out the huddle, you don't have that link because you're not sure whose hand you holding.
That's true.
Because that guy wasn't there 3 weeks ago in August when you were sweating your butt off. So that's the difference I'm talking about. I think Dallas showed it the best this week, where when you get down to who you know is going to be there, you act different, you play different. So they knew Cooper Rush was their quarterback, and I felt like this team responded by everybody picking up the pieces to make everything work. So it didn't hurt them that they were playing Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's revamped offensive line ain't really revamped because they played like some trash, and Michael Parsons ate everybody's lunch all day long. So it's certain situations where you can be looking at something that everybody else thinks is the end of the world, but you look at it as if this is our next opportunity. Like it doesn't seem like it's that catastrophic to you because you know who you got in the room with you. Like I always tell people, and this is like a church analogy, but I was like, there are big churches that got thousands of people, but Jesus only needed 12. Sometimes you got to walk with the 12 you got. And that's just the way I'm gonna say it. Like, sometimes it's easier to walk with the dogs that are dogs than it is when you gotta think about if we got dogs and puppies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get off my dog walker today. I'm sounding like more like dog than you do today. I'm gonna cut me off.
I'm gonna say this, and BJ says KG stop, and he put up the stop sign. I'm being honest because I watched the defensive coordinator take spare parts. Now we got talent on this defense. We got number 1 first round picks. You got Jamin Davis. You got 4 first round picks on the line, and I hate that hearing that shit on the broadcast with a passion. Oh, they got 4 first round picks. So the fuck what? That just shows that we was terrible 4 years in a row. That shows that is.
What it really shows is I always get into this time of year because there's a difference between the national media and the local media. Like yesterday was the perfect example. There were so many times that they gave like the national spin on this team, and they didn't talk to anybody here locally to figure out what the issue was, and I feel like sometimes that's a research thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's an arrogance thing, because why do I have to know more about your team? But I really felt yesterday was one of those examples of where locally we understand the storylines and the narrative, and like I got frustrated with the broadcast because they didn't have a clue.
Something was said, and I guess you could call him national. RG3 said he didn't like that coaches called out Jamin Davis publicly. I'm like, why not? You can call out anybody else. You can't call him out.
So for me, that's almost hilarious because it's not even hilarious. You know what? The word I'm using is wrong. It's irony, because I saw a young RG3 at 22 call out his offensive lineman, call out his wide receivers, and then his coach go back at him, and then the coach got blasted, but the quarterback didn't get blasted for not taking responsibility.
But it's wrong. They called him out, and I'm like, dude, some people respond differently, and
right.
they call it blasting the guy. I call it correction. And some people say, well, you can't dress down. Yeah, certain people you can't dress down in front of everybody. But
right.
If the news gets out that you were dressed down and it's addressed in a press conference, hey, well, we had to talk to him about this and that and the third. Me personally, I know how to respond. If I know I'm not doing my job, and you, as my boss, my manager, my coach, you tell me I'm not doing my job, go for it.
If we were going to put this responsibility on this kid, why didn't you get somebody else? You were comfortable with David Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
You're comfortable with John Bostic.
Mm-hmm.
But now all of a sudden this kid, scapegoat or not, but I feel like he's the scapegoat. You can't tell me that you were so comfortable with him coming into the season if now all of a sudden he's the issue in the season.
But see, the thing is, he's young. And one thing that's going to happen, he's going to have brain farts. It's going to happen. And number one, he's young, but he's also human. He's going to have brain farts. So it's going to happen.
Take the, I said this before, take the if out of the equation. See, there are certain guys that if you almost got to treat them like a dog, and I don't mean this in no derogatory way, but when I say it, it'll make sense. You either got to put them in sick or sit. That way, it takes the equation out of it. He ain't got to sit there and think, "Oh, on this play, if the running back runs out, I'm taking a running back. But if he don't come out, I'm blitzing." Well, if you just say, "Go get him," it's a whole different equation.
Exactly.
It's a whole different mentality because now he's not guessing, he's not thinking. That first step is a true first step. So that's why I say sometimes you got to put a guy in a sick or sit mode. Like you got to leave something. Go get the dog, like go get it, or cover.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, he's like the perfect. He's too young of a linebacker because he only played 1 year at Kentucky, where he got on-field time, and he's played last year here. Mm-hmm. And they tried to make him a mid, but he was not a middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, I'm gonna get back to the point. That's the ultimate point. Is again, if you see these faults, then you gotta bring somebody else in. Like you can't be comfortable watching him play and then see a guy like any. I'm gonna say any because any free agent linebacker that comes available, you just can't look at them and be like, oh, I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it.
And Keith say Mayo and Bostic are trash. I don't think Bostic was brought in for brought back. Trash. I don't believe he was brought back for playing. No, listen, I don't think he was brought back to play. I think he was brought back for the mental.
Okay, I get you there.
Because one thing about him is Bostic's going to talk. He's going to tell you what he sees. And you talk about being in that sycamore sit. I had a coach like that when I switched over from corner to strong safety. And what he told me, he said, I'm gonna tell you the easiest way to do it. If the running back swing out, cover him. The tight end, if they got a tight end, you strong side, cover the tight end. Don't worry about the running back, linebacker got him. You cover the tight end. You figure it out. It's easy. Yeah. And when the running back swung out, I was on him. There was nothing there. Tight end went, okay. I gave him a little cushion because I wanted him to get the ball. I wanted to lay his motherfucking ass out. But anyway, I understood the assignment until I got better at it. Then being able to learn the both safety positions and learning the corner positions. And I got to give a big shout out to Darryl Green on that because it was the conversation that I had with him that he didn't have to have with me that taught me how to properly play the cornerback position. Always be a Hall of Famer in my book. Sorry, Gary.
Should we talk to Dion?
For what? I wanted to know how to tackle.
You a corner. You get paid to cover.
Yeah, you get paid to cover, but sometimes you got to go and tackle too. How many tackles do Dion got?
Dion got more tackles than everybody. See, I'm not even gonna start that. I'm not gonna start that.
He threw himself in front of people. Come on, stop it.
I'm not starting it. Because we want to get off topic. Let's stick to topic. Stick to the brass tacks.
All right, last but not least, and I'm just gonna say this. We got Philly next week.
Trouble.
Do we show an improvement in what you saw this week? Do we show an improvement? And I'm not going to say pull out a win. We'll save that for Sunday morning. But do we show an improvement and throw up some fight and not get behind early where we have to come back? I want to see us. This is just my thought. I want to see us get up early, cruise, and stay up where the defense don't let up off the gas. But the offense is just like, you know what? We can run 50, 60 gut all day long, and they can't stop it. We're just going to run this.
You just trying to get John Riggins and company in there. we ain't doing that. So what I'm gonna do is it's a week. I don't normally put big things on early games, but this is a game where you gotta figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta figure out what's important to you. I mean, it could be pretty, or it can be a dogfight. And if Philly comes in here with any other objective other than making this a dogfight, they stupid. I'm lining you up. We running Miles Sanders down your throat. The announcer can't tell you more stats about Miles Sanders and his mama and his cousins and his family. Like, you can get the Miles Sanders life story if I'm calling this ball game. I don't see a way that Philly doesn't run this ball and honestly just use their fronts. They have one of the best offensive lines.
Mm-hmm.
They got one of the best defensive lines.
And that's what Keith just said. Their front four is dangerous.
And yeah, I saw that comment, and it sparked the whole thing. Like, I don't see why Philly wouldn't just they pull their corners up, we press. We press. I don't care if you Terry McLaurin. I don't care who you are. We press. Let's go. Let's put the women and children to sleep and let's go looking for dinner. Like let's get it going. I just feel like this is one of those games where how this team responds tells me if they're a 10-7 program or a 7-10 program.
Let me tell you something. You press one of my teams and you think that you're gonna get away with that. I'm gonna come out with something that you can be like, well, damn, I didn't prepare for that. Go ahead and press them. Go ahead and press them. Because see, that's the thing. This ain't when you talk about press, it's different in football than it is in basketball. We ain't talking about Duke's vaunted press and breaking that press. And like, I had to break out Steve Blake to do that. But you talking about pressing these receivers. If you don't get off the line, I don't need you out there. You need to know how to get off the line. You need to know these things. You need to be ready for all of this.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing though. Who do you have fast enough that can be a spy? Fast enough and can tackle. That can be a spy on Jalen Hurts.
Jamin Davis. But I mean, all week we've heard he's trash, so I don't know. I mean, see, it's not even thinking about spying. Because I don't even see. I'm not even looking at that part of this ball game. Because if I'm Philly, I'm just running like it's Detroit ran A gap to A gap.
Mm-hmm. They didn't run anything outside.
They didn't run nothing fancy.
Nope.
Detroit didn't try to stretch zone. They didn't try any of that. They didn't even go tall sweep. They came downhill. And I think, all right, so I think Brian Robinson's absence hurts this offense. Because I think in that game yesterday, in a couple scenarios, we ran some other stuff like some stretch zone that's more Gibby instead of some downhill stuff that might be what B-Rob is. So I think that's one of my first notes from yesterday's game was we missed Robinson.
Yeah.
Second note is the Alabama wall looked like Twinkies. They soft in the middle.
Marshmallowy.
Yeah. So you can't do that. And again, with Philly coming into town, I just don't see it, man.
Okay, I'm gonna say this really, really quick. Being soft in the middle is this a residual effect of not re-signing Matt Ioannidis?
So he got a sack yesterday. I don't see it as that.
I do.
I don't see so. I don't know. I'm not a big guy on who we lost because sometimes when you lose guys, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Even like the Pittsburgh Steelers lose, they've lost linebacker. They lose linebacker after linebacker after linebacker. You lose
and it's always somebody sitting in the wings, though.
It's always somebody there. So in that scenario, I always say, well, it's up to your personnel. If your personnel can cover it, I don't mind losing a guy.
Here's my thing, and I said real quick. With Ioannidis, it's just what he brought to the table, the knowledge, the strength, and I just love what he used to do, how he used to push and wait. As soon as the quarterback stepped up, he was right there. He was there to put some pressure on, but he did his job.
So I think Ioannidis is more of a victim of the coaching situation. I think if you get rid of Sam Mills in February, I think Ioannidis is still here. If you get rid of Sam Mills in July, Ioannidis is not here. I'm gonna keep it that simple.
Okay. And Keith say only Jamin Davis is, and that's it. That's the only one that could probably be the spy on Jalen Hurts. I agree with that. And can't wait for B-Rob to come back because Gibby can't run up the middle. And I get that too.
But there were no lanes. Yesterday was just no lanes. Like I can't dog Gibby yesterday when everything was packed up and stacked up.
Yeah.
And I know it looks like we up against an hour, so
yeah.
I don't know how much my paycheck gonna look like. So
but I will say this. I would like to see more of McKissick running the ball as a spellback because him not getting enough touches. Yes, you're throwing it to him, but him not getting enough touches running the ball is a problem. And I don't know, maybe it worked a little different with Heineke. It was like a safety valve thing, but do it like that. Not because I got him in fantasy, but because McKissick is a rare breed. And when he almost left and went to Baltimore, I was hurt. I called the boss BJ and I sent him to Tyrese. Congratulations. I was upset.
Right.
But then when he changed his mind and came back, I'm good with that. But give McKissick the ball more. You know, for those inside runs, you got to give it to him. He's a little bit bigger. He can take the pounding. Let's go.
I think it's just more he's a natural runner than Gibson is.
Who still
there's certain things where Gibson is more it's almost like a quarterback where you throw with anticipation. Like I think McKissick runs with more anticipation of where the hole's gonna be or where the blocking is gonna take him. And Gibson's got to see it. And the problem he has is once he sees it, it's too late because now it closes because you got that time when it comes to running lanes in the NFL. Well,
that's all our time for tonight. We got to come back sometime later on this week, and we got games tonight.
So at this point, I see Tennessee is down 17-7. I don't have a Philly score yet.
The Philly is 7-0 Philly.
Okay, so that's where we are right now.
So I'm trying to win a couple fantasy games here, but
did Chicago officially acknowledge their daddy?
They should have, but Chicago got robbed last night as well.
I don't know, man.
That was a touchdown.
It probably was. They still would have lost.
Okay. I'll agree with that, but it was still a touchdown. Until next time, that's the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy, KG. We do not do no overtime. We are out of here.